innocent. Remember, all we did was care for each other. But the night was warm, we were born and young. All around, the wind blows, we would only hold on to let go. Blow a kiss, fire a gun, we need someone to lean on. Blow a kiss, fire a gun, we need someone to lean on. Blow a kiss, fire a gun, we need someone to lean on. Blow a kiss, fire a gun, all we need is somebody to lean on. What will we do when we get old? Will we walk down the same road? Will you be there by my side, standing strong as the waves roll over? When the nights are long, longing for you to come home. All around, the wind blows, we would only hold on to let go. Blow a kiss, fire a gun, we would need someone to lean on. Blow a kiss, fire a gun, all we need is somebody to lean on. Blow a kiss, fire a gun, we would need someone to lean on. Blow a kiss, fire a gun, all we need is somebody to lean on.
Testing, testing, testing. This is a quick voice test. We will be beginning in around 5 minutes. Let me know if you guys can hear me a-okay. Mock seems to be just getting out of bed. You lazy bum. Sherwin's here too. Impromptu live stream today for you guys. It's a Monday. It's a beautiful day. It's the last day of the month. Closing a monthly candle and a brand new weekly candle today as well. It's a very, very important day. And oh, hey, yeah, Kusha's birthday month coming up tomorrow as well. So I think she probably announced a discount on all Mango products. I'm not certain if she did or not. I'll confirm with her soon. But yeah, there should be a discount coming up soon. Either way for Kusha's birthday. And hey, what do you know, guys? As usual, Krisha's birthday tends to line up perfectly with chaos in the markets. Without fail, I think it's been 4 years in a row now. Hosta is in here too. We got Julian, we got Hosta, we got Samson, we got Vishal as well. Oh my god, today's gonna be a great stream. And we got in-house bot, Mock. It's gonna be a good stream. Perhaps I extend this one. It was supposed to be a quick 15-minute stream, but perhaps, just push it today. Vishal says, thanks for hooking me up with that link, Krisha. His name is David. He'll be in touch. I've pointed him to all Mango resources. Oh, nice. The family grows. So, what do we want to talk about today? Do you guys want to talk about the bond market likely going to go crazy, or do you guys want to talk about just Bitcoin? The plan was to just talk about Bitcoin because honestly, I want to get my thoughts in order in regards to what's going on with the ruble, with essentially Russia increasing interest rates to 20%, which is ridiculous. But can we see BTC for 30k? Maybe. We'll talk about the if this then that conditions very soon. Philippe is in here too. All right, so guys, let me know if there's any like background noise because there's construction going on again, not too far away, and I'm trying to adjust my mic so that you guys don't have to deal with it. Man, I invested in this location over here pre-COVID. It turned out to be a great investment bit because now this place has blown up. But that comes with its own qualms, or rather its own issues of now too many people here, and it's not as quiet and peaceful as it used to be. So financially, it's turned out to be a great investment, but it's not too mango here anymore. Not too happy with that. Dero, what the hell is that? All right, let's switch on over to the dashboard real quick. Actually, we haven't started yet. I'll go grab a drink real quick. Be right back. Alrighty, with that, let's begin. And boom! Good morning, guys. My name is Sean Dexter, and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your weekly live stream. We're doing an impromptu live stream today because it is a Monday. It is a brand new week. It is the last day of the month. And hey, a lot of interesting things to talk about because it's going to be decision time very, very soon. Either decision for bullishness, either decision for bearishness, or hey, decision for just sitting on our asses and doing nothing and playing video games for the rest of the month because hey, remember, not being in a trade is a trade as well. And I just realized that we are showing the dashboard on 2 screens. My bad, my bad. How is that even happening? I gotta fix that. There's always some hiccup. Can you guys hear me, by the way? I just assumed you guys can hear me, but I usually confirm that from you guys while I try to fix this on the other end. And this, okay, now that's happening. So F it. Who needs the dashboard anyways? Okay, you know what? We'll start with the dashboard and move to the charts. That's what we need to do anyways. But before I continue, I just want to confirm that you guys can hear me. Okay, Sherwin says we can. That's awesome. Roy says good morning to all of you. Just want to let you guys know that I'm not feeling 100% today because I was up late last night. I was trying to catch up on my readings and I'm behind for the month. I set myself some reading targets. I'm reading up on the history of banking, at least between the 1700s to our current day and age. And the readings were a tad bit heavy, and I just couldn't get my readings done for the month. So, well, I do have a day left, right? I didn't have enough days in the month, man. It's not my fault, guys, but this is going to be a failure of discipline. Remember, the mango word of the year is discipline. I set myself some rules as to how much readings I would get done, and unfortunately, I did not meet my targets. But I have some interesting things to talk about in regards to the history of banking that I've noticed that I'm very, very happy to share with you guys. I'm sure you guys aren't really too interested at the current moment because of what's going on with the Ukraine-Russia war, but really, really interesting events transpired, which is leading me to be that much more bullish, by the way, on Bitcoin. Not Bitcoin, but the cryptocurrency space in general. I'm actually getting more bullish on altcoins in general because of my most recent readings. So yeah, either way, long story short, I'm a bit tired today, guys. Stayed up late last night trying to catch up on my readings. And today we're going to be discussing Bitcoin's monthly and weekly closes, and also we'll perhaps talk about what's going on with the Ukraine-Russia scene. Alrighty. Hosta says, "What are you reading, Sean?" So I'm reading a couple of So my readings at the moment. The reason the readings are difficult is because the readings are scattered. There are a bunch of texts that I found online, PDFs, biographies. I can't pronounce the word. What is going on? That's how tired I am today. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to read up on is JP Morgan's history, how he set things up for the entire railway industry, how he set up US Steel, etc. The rise of Salomon Brothers, the rise of Goldman Sachs, how they came into power, how they became the banking behemoths that they are. And yeah, essentially the power struggle between capital requirements between the governments and sovereigns, or I'm talking about royalties back in the day. Like this basically the banking struggles, or rather the banking power struggles, right? So we're seeing that play out right now too. A lot of these insights that you want to derive to be able to apply it in today's day and age, you can't find it in one particular book, right? So a really good example is Sovereign Individual. It's a great book, right? It's a great book, but there were a lot of questions that you needed to ask as well after. Like the book incited more questions than you would otherwise think, right? A lot of people say, hey, the Sovereign Individual is the Bible for everything. But there were questions that I had that I didn't even, like, I wasn't able to even verbalize those questions. But then when you read The Fourth Turning, some of those questions are answered. So I think the Sovereign Individual and The Fourth Turning together actually is a better package than the sovereign individual alone for Bitcoiners especially. But some of the concepts in the fourth turning go against what Bitcoiners want from the ideal outcome. But then again, you have to read more after that to combine everything. And I think that there'll be a package of like 4 books together to answer all the questions around that topic. So yeah, it's never just one book. Okay. We'll do a quick roll call. We have Samson in here. We have Roy. We have Vishal. We have Philippe. Should we wait for anyone else to show up, or should we just dive right into the charts? I think we should switch on over to the charts, at least for now. And okay, I want to get a feeler as to what you guys think Bitcoin. What are your current thoughts on the weekly close and how the monthly is shaping out to be? You guys tell me what you guys think, and then I'll go on a long rant, I guess is the word I'm looking for, on my analysis. I have a bunch of tabs open here. I've kind of come prepared, not really, but I know what I want to talk about to keep myself confined within certain time frames, because there's a lot going on multiple time frames. But we're going to be trying to keep ourselves confined to the weekly, the monthly, and the daily time frame. I also do want to talk about the bi-weekly.
Attracted to the things that'll bring you trauma. Overseas, yeah, we trying to stop the terrorism, but we still got terrorists here living in the USA, the big CIA, the Bloods and the Crips and the KKK. But if you only have love for your own race, then you only leave space to discriminate, and to discriminate only generates hate. And when you hate,
so you want to start with the weekly close, Mark? Yeah, that's essentially what I have opened up at the moment. So I want to know though, Mark, what are you thinking about? Okay, so Vishal says monthly dynamic is trending. Correct. Currently holding as well. Correct. Could obviously come down below March, but the trend is your friend. Good. Well said. Well said. Onward and upwards, my fellow mangoes. Okay, cool. I like that. So Vishal is keeping his eyes on the monthly time frame, which honestly has been. So there were 2 ways to essentially play the current market trend. It was either the weekly and being bearish on the weekly, or monthly and being bullish on the monthly and playing that trend, right? If you were bearish on the weekly, or rather, let me put it this way: if you were playing the weekly alone, there were 2 or 3 periods where you could have gotten bearish. Right over here, 1, 2, and then over here 3 again, right? 3 short trades on the weekly time frame that would have kept you profitable. And this is where it's really important to understand that one trader can be bearish on a different time frame and be profitable, and another trader can be bullish on another time frame and still be profitable, right? There's no, the bull and bear wars like that you see on Twitter. It's so naive, especially through a trader's perspective. So especially if you're like confining yourself within a certain time period, right? In the long term, being bullish on Bitcoin is, of course, the winning strategy. No one can really argue that, right? Look at the yearly, it's just going up. But going back to the weekly now, again, there was a short trade as soon as we lost the Tenkin over here. Okay, then again, as soon as we broke into the cloud. That being said, on the monthly time frame, you could have taken longs, especially if you're playing the ranges, and still been profitable, right? Now, on the weekly too, you could have taken longs, or rather use the weekly structure over here, or rather the weekly Ichimoku to close out your shorts and just wait for the next short trade, right? So what are we looking at over here? We're looking at the Ichimoku. We're looking at the bottom of the cloud as a support zone that we've been holding now for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7 weeks now, depending on how this week closes. And if you are playing the trend, you would have essentially taken a short here, or taken a short here, or taking a short over here. And each time, your take profits would have either been the top of the cloud, then we flipped again into resistance, or you could have just held your short, right, and taken your profits over here. But in my opinion, you don't want to be holding your short into this zone over here, right? And why is that? Because that was monthly support as well, right? So you're going to weekly support with monthly support, which is in an uptrend. And remember what Vishal just said, monthly support is in an uptrend. So you don't want to be going into a short with long-term uptrend against you, right? Similarly, that works vice versa too. You don't want to be going into a long with short-term, you don't want to be going into a short-term long with higher time frame downtrend pressure against you. And a good example of that was, I get a bit too complex over here, but this is me, an example of me where I took my short trade very, very recently, or long trade very, very recently towards the upside, while we had weekly downtrend against me, right? And I took a loss on that trade because I was wrong on the uptrend of the 2-day getting its immediate momentum from the monthly also towards the upside, right? So what is the structure right now that we have? We have weekly downtrend, monthly uptrend, but the 2-day uptrend failed to continue and is now also towards the downtrend, right? All of this is easy to visualize on the dashboard. So let's start over here. The weekly is short. It's basically saying down, weekly saying down, guys, okay? So it's going against your trades, or rather, if you're long, it's going against your trades. If you're short, it is in your favor, right? It's giving you that support. You have trend support in your direction. You still have to go on over to your charts and find out where you want to be getting your entries, right? You don't want to just blindly long or short these calls over here. You want to get good entries, especially if you're trading the ranges. So weekly is short, right? The 4-day is also short, but we're not playing the 4-day at the moment. Okay, we're not playing the 4-day at the moment. What we were playing was the 2-day. The 2-day was in our favor, but not anymore, right? 6 days ago, actually, it flipped short. The weekly is also short. The daily is also short. The weekly, by the way, guys, has been short for 84 days. That's almost 3 months. 3 months. If you were playing the weekly, the high time frames, the weekly would have kept you out of any long trades. Actually, I listened to this. I didn't. Hindsight, of course. I want to do a video where I just discuss my mistakes. Like I made a trading mistake on my trade that I do want to talk about, but I'll leave that for another video, a dedicated video. But again, weekly short, 2-day is short, daily is short, 12-hour is short, the 4-hour is neutral. So right now, everything, almost all time frames from the 4-hour all the way up to the weekly is short. The 4 hours neutral, but as good as short, right? At the moment, considering the amount of pressure it's seeing from every other time frame. So going back on over to the charts, what's the most bullish thing over here? What's the most bullish thing over here? If you guys had to tell me. Thoughts, quick. Dread Mining says if this was a weekly low, then it's a higher low, so we are trending bullish. Actually, that's a good answer. Yeah, it is a higher low. And the higher low came at a key support level as well. So you're seeing the green cloud. It's not a red cloud. It's a green cloud, by the way. Hold its support. But what's bearish about this candle? There's something that's bearish about this candle that I'm not a big fan of, especially with the way it closed and when it closed right towards the end of the Sunday. What don't you guys like about this candle? This is a really this candle sends mixed signals because it's a nice long wick, but there's something I don't like about the candle, which leaves me a little bit more doubtful. It's red, yeah, but being red alone is not enough. The context matters. The candles prior to that matters, Mark. So what about this candle do you not like, considering the prior candle? Come on, I want you guys to pull out your information from your candlestick analysis module. Remember, we like to tell a story here. We like to derive a story from the candles. It's not about remembering the candlestick names. That's all that BS that you're going to find on YouTube that traders use to feel good about themselves. That's not important. It's about deriving a story so we understand what the market is doing. It's an indecision candle, yes. But in context of the previous candle, Samson, tell me. Mark M has a good answer. It closed under the previous low. It closed under the previous candle, yes. It took out the previous low of the previous candle, which is essentially what you're saying, really. But let's try to be a lot more specific over here, so that way it builds good habits. It took out the low and closed underneath the low of the previous candle, right? Philippe says it completes the undoing of the previous green one. So the previous one is here. So you're saying it took out. So Philippe is taking it a step further and saying it took out this low, right, Philippe? Correct me if I'm wrong. The previous candle shows selling pressure, says Josh L. So you mean this? Yes, but Josh, it also shows buying pressure, which makes it important, right? Look at the wick here, Josh. This wick here is showing that the buyer stepped in. But even though the buyer stepped in, the sellers also stepped in and closed the candle underneath the prior week's low. So the buyers did not have what they needed. They didn't have enough buying pressure. Or rather, another way you could look at it is, even the buyers that did come in reacted to the market to take profits because of whatever's happening. Okay, let's say we don't know what's happening with Ukraine, Russia, blah blah blah. We have no idea. We're completely cut off from the news because we are like captives to a oppressor who has put us in a dungeon, and he has said, trade the charts. You have no access to worldwide information. CNN is not accessible to you. Fox News, CNBC, all of that not accessible. No Twitter. You got to trade. So the market is telling you over here that something happened. All the market participants got spooked out somehow, and even though there was buying pressure to push the candle all the way up to green at one point, the market came and decided to take profits, or they sold back whatever they bought, and the candle failed to close above the previous candle's low and the previous candle's close. Okay, so where's the previous candle's low and close? Right here, guys, right here. Okay, 38,367, and the low is 38,000-ish. The market got up there. It got up there, got above both those levels at one point. You guys can see the wick here. This was looking good. But something happened, right? The charts tell you the news. Okay, so we didn't have the best close. That's really important. This weekly candle over here is sending mixed signals because buyers stepped in, buyers came in to support it. Okay, remember the narrative was beginning to shift too. But now people are spooked. People are like, someone said, Samson said, indecision, right? People are like, I'm not feeling so good about this anymore. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if there's a nuclear attack? What if there's a massive market scare and a huge slip again? Kind of like what happened with COVID. Market is beginning to feel a little bit of that, right? So the weekly got supported, yes, but we are not out of the woods, guys, okay? So what's the entire picture telling us on the weekly? The weekly saying Kijun, swinging up, Tenkin, flattening. We can project this crossing bearish. It's a bearish TK cross, but the cloud is green, okay? In that situation, as soon as we get the bearish TK cross, on the weekly time frame, we are no longer in a bullish trend momentum as long as that TK is bearish crossed. I don't care, right? The weekly needs to recross bullish, and that may happen only if Bitcoin actually retakes the Tenkin, Because even Bitcoin retakes Tenkin and the Kijun, guys, after this crosses, I'm going to be expecting weekly resistance. Okay, weekly resistance, where we come back down, and I'll only get bullish for a break after a TK. Or we get the break and then the TK crosses, I'll be looking for a retest over here, and then continuation. So start thinking ahead. So even when you take your losses, it is pre-planned, you're expecting it, and you're ready for the next plan, right? Start thinking ahead. So the weekly at the moment is not looking the hottest, but the bears don't have what it takes just yet either. This is the definition of consolidation, guys. Okay, this is the definition of consolidation. The Tenkin and Kijun tightening, the cloud is still green. So while the bears have some pressure, the cloud is literally telling you green. When you see green, it's good, period, right? Green means good. But candles are red, candles are coming down, candles are testing support. Where's the best picture? We'll get to the best picture soon. But before we do that, I want to look at a interim time frame. But before I do that, I want to take any more questions. Any questions before I move on? Which is why we had a red candle. Okay, I may have missed something. Josh says, "Love the passion in your answers, mate. Thanks for the detail here, man. My pleasure, my pleasure." Mark M says, "This week needs to close above the second last red candle." So Mark, clarify. When you say second last, are you referring to this candle over here? We'll come to that very, very soon. This week is going to coincide with the new month starting as well, which is going to be really important. TK cross also prevents mid-July, present in mid-July. That was the start of the uptrend. Yeah. So you're talking about the bullish TK cross, or you're talking about the bearish TK cross? Let's go back. Let's discuss the TK cross. This TK cross was the bullish TK cross, but the cloud was red at the time, right? So it wasn't as bullish as if we do get a double bullish TK cross over here. And think about the situation under which we will get a double bullish TK cross over here. It will only be if Bitcoin reverses from here, retakes the Tenkin, and then is forced to cross again, right? So that's especially if you guys watch the Ichimoku module in the seed program, you guys know how I explain the mathematics of it all to you guys in a very simple way, right? Actually, no, I've posted the Tenkin module for all of you guys over here too in the educational playlist. One of the sections from the Ichimoku module, I believe the Tenkin as well as the Kijun maybe, is in the free educational playlist on the Mango YouTube channel. So if you guys aren't in the C program, I recommend you guys watch those two sections from that module. It's not the whole module, of course, but it should help you guys. So think about what conditions Bitcoin needs to overcome for us to get a bullish TK cross again if this crosses bearish. Crosses bearish. Okay? Open on of the one before. So you're talking about this one. Oh, this one. So you're talking Mark, give me the weekly date. So are you talking about the 14th of Feb or are you talking about the 21st of Feb? Okay. So that's the weekly. Hi Mango Research. Could you elaborate whether Russia-Ukraine war decided BTC and ETH future to a crash or stabilizing Bitcoin with the 40-50k range, Ethereum 30 to 35? Ethereum 30 to 35, or do you mean 3,000 to 3.5k? Yeah, I would say that, Mark. Mark says 14th of Feb, right? So the best way to look at this, Mark, is you're looking for the Kumo to break towards the upside. If we can close above 42,000, we'd also be taking out the prior weekly high. So this most current weekly candle close, we'd have reclaimed that high as well as undone the damage of this candle, essentially telling us that the market participants, at least on the weekly time frame, which by the way, under the context of today's stream, is the lower time frames. Okay, it's the mid to lower time frames. The weekly is the mid to lower time frames. In that context, what we're going to end up having is market participants telling us that all these fears over here, we aren't feeling them anymore, and instead we close here. That's gonna initiate a W-like structure, which would initiate a move to the Tenkin and Kijun cross, right? Testing this bearish cross, perhaps even undoing it by closing above. So that's what we're looking for, okay, on the weekly. Any questions before I switch to time frames? Dread Mining says, so we need a weekly close above 42.4k to confirm a bullish uptrend. 42.4k. I would say 44,000, man, just to be a little bit more safe. But 42.5k ish. Yeah. Because this is a weekly downtrend that has not reversed yet, in my opinion. It's putting in a higher low, but you don't know if this is the high low, man. Because what if we come in here, retest this, we could test up to the cloud, to be honest, and do this, right? At that point, this is just sideways action, which continued its downtrend, which, by the way, is a definition of a bear flag, right? You guys need to understand that bear flags, any pattern, all these names, okay, double bottoms, head and shoulders, they are just ways to depict trend changes for the novice trader, right? I'm not saying patterns are bad. I'm not trying to put down people over here. Patterns are really good for human beings to be able to depict, or rather to understand better what's going on with the trend. But they're really, in actuality, there are ways to understand trend. That's what, and you need to understand that. Patterns are easier ways for people to understand trend. Trend is king, always. So when you see this happen, is essentially a bear flag, right? It's a weekly bear flag. Okay, so I think all of us are on the same page over here now with the I'm very satisfied with your analysis. Please advise newbies to stay focused on long-term analysis, approximately weekly to monthly approach. That's exactly what we're doing today here, man. Exactly what we're doing today over here. So the weekly over here, I think we're all on the same page. Now, I do want to talk about something in particular, which is the bi-weekly. Let's clear the chart off very, very temporarily and look at only the price action. Over here, the bi-weekly is, and then you guys are going to see now how the higher time frames give us a clear picture. What do you guys like about this bi-weekly picture, and what don't you guys like about this bi-weekly picture? I'm going to wait for answers before I tell you guys what I think of this bi-weekly. Come on, I want quick answers. You guys have been following Mango long enough. You like the wicks? Good answer. Good answer. What else? Remember, this is a really important close today. We close the weekly candle, which you've been looking at. We close a bi-weekly, which is very important to Mango. And we're about to start a new month. The fact that all of this is lining up together with Krisha's birthday, which is a bear signal. But usually Krisha's birthday, oh my god, I'll talk about that later. Looks like a base forming over here, Josh. How about this, Josh? Pull up your chart. And I want you to draw a horizontal for the base. Holding 35.8k. Okay, that's a good answer. Where's your base, by the way, Josh? Are you talking about Mock's answer over here? Mock is looking at this zone. Mog Luta says consolidation. Okay, so consolidation, though, put that in context. Consolidation after down, right? Down. Unless you're looking, oops, draw it this way. And this is the down. Unless you, so this is where it's really important to define your time frame and your time span, I guess. If you're looking at the time span between like October, the last high, to now, then yeah, you can say down. But what if you're looking at this time span all the way from last year, from last of Feb 2021 to today, then your consolidation is not down, it's sideways, right? So if I say my time span is from a few months ago, like September, to today, then I'm looking at down to consolidation sideways, which is a bear flag. And in that case, you're looking at further down, right? You should be looking for further down because you're like downtrend, 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 sideways, looking for trend to continue. However, if your time span is all the way from last year, which would actually indicate that you're looking at a higher time frame, then you're looking at consolidation sideways with up prior to that, right? See how things change, guys. It's the same analysis. It's literally the same analysis. But you turn from bearish to bullish, right? What have I done is the same thing. I've just like zoomed out. And in this case, you now have a high or low. Yeah, thank you so much. I do need to rest. I appreciate that, man. Very few people say, could you rest? But to answer your question, I'll answer your question in a bit. We'll come back to Ukraine, Russia after we finish the Bitcoin analysis. So, depending on how far back you look, we have a bi-weekly bull flag within which there is a bi-weekly bear flag. If this breaks down, we have this, right? Decreasing volume in a consolidation, always look for trend continuation after that, Ken. People don't understand volume. Decreasing volume could actually be bullish. So I would recommend, until you understand volume, don't let it be a key part of your analysis. And most people don't understand how to use volume. I would say this, guys. The bi-weekly, and this is really important to note. Zooming in here. Look at that close. Look at this close. I love the song, by the way. Can you guys hear the song? I'll turn it up a bit. Oh no. I need to take it back a bit. There we go. Thoughts? What are your thoughts, guys? Come on. I've literally given it to you on a platter. Come on. I want you guys to verbalize this in words. This is still going, eh? I have it up here, man. Sherwin says weekly bear trap. So the bi-weekly did not close the best. We did not have a good close at all. We closed underneath the prior week's open. We also took out the prior week's low. Okay, but we did maintain the major low that we're looking to hold over here, which is, I believe, 32,981. Okay, but it is not a good close at all. Period. Okay, this is not the kind of candle that you get bullish over. Okay, not this one over here. More importantly, the weekly, I think I have it open over here. No, I don't. The weekly dynamic is also still bearish. We lost the weekly dynamic all the way over here, in fact, at around $44,000, right? And if you guys do remember, if you guys were following Mango during this entire period, during this period over here, the weekly dynamic, the bi-weekly dynamic, bi-weekly, that's what I'm referring to over here, guys, not the weekly. The bi-weekly dynamic was our base case for getting bullish, right? Or rather, one of the biggest boosters for increasing our leverage trade, right? When we took our trade from here all the way to here, the bi-weekly was our guide, and then we lost over here, and the bi-weekly again over here, guys, is going to be really, really important. Now, the 2-day dynamic too was really important for us moving towards the upside. But remember, the 2-day dynamic failed, and unlike last time where we caught a really, really good trade towards the upside, and the 2-day dynamic failed temporarily, where we hedged it and got back in. I'll show that really quickly to you guys. The 2-day dynamic during this time here, where we used it as our edge to get into an early trade, took us all the way from here to here, where we unhedged because we lost it, or rather we hedged because we lost it, and then we unhedged over here because we regained it, and took us back up over here, and then we lost it again over here, and we got out of our trade, right? This time, the 2-day dynamic didn't take us far at all. We barely hit the weekly resistance, and boom, right? Essentially telling us that, hey, the higher time frames, the higher time frames are literally controlling everything over here, right? The weekly pushed down the 2-day, the bi-weekly is also putting its force down. So maybe you either play the monthly or you wait for all of these lower time frames to switch, right? So that was the big mistake, right? Even remember the monthly Tenkin. If I was playing the monthly, and this is the mistake I wanted to talk about. Should I pull it up right now? I'll pull it up right now. Okay, so firstly, let's get this straight over here before I move on. Bi-weekly did not have the best close. We closed underneath the previous open. We took out the previous low as well, and the dynamic is still resistance. Okay. Now, I think this is the monthly dynamic. I'm gonna pull up the Ichimoku first. That's my Ichimoku. Okay, let's just pull it up over here. My mistake was looking for a trend trade on the monthly when we hadn't really closed above the Tenkin. I had said that, you know what, this is very similar to the previous situation, like over here, where we closed above the juncture. I'll turn on the EMA as well, 21 EMA, and that's enough to go take a long trend trade, right? Using that as my base momentum to use the 2-day dynamic to take it up to the top of the range at the very least, which is over here, all the way up at 60,000-ish, right? Somewhere around here. However, I kind of front run that, right? You could say that it was a trade-off, but I'm going to be harsh on myself over here. I'm going to berate myself over here and say, you know what, Sean, what you should have done is respected that Tenkin, right? That weekly Tenkin, you didn't close above it, right? And maybe at the very least, I should have taken some profits on that 10 SMA trade, which was also the weekly Kijun. So we hit the 10 SMA. This is the trade right over here, handed to me on a platter. Either taking profits over there, but I took a trade off there, right? I'm like, you know what? You're not going to take profits but you're going to look for the bigger win. And clearly that was not the right choice. And you can, and if you guys do remember, even during the week that this was happening, I kept cautioning you guys. I'm like, guys, I'm in a long here, but we had resistance. Because I think deep down I knew that maybe I should be taking profits here. But the reason I did not take profits was because I did not plan it. I did not plan to take profits. So my manager, the trading manager, right, who was me, remember we divided ourselves into two people. He made a mistake in managing or planning his trade. That was the mistake. The executor needs to execute. And at that point, I was in execution phase. And all I had to do was execute. And I had to take the loss if it came down to it. And I think I should have managed I should have planned the trade better, right? I think that was a failure in planning the trade. So yeah, that's something I wanted to talk to you guys about. I want to do a separate video on it, and I will, but just a glimpse. Okay, going back to the current picture. The current picture is the monthly is in an uptrend still, okay? Where we are holding the monthly dynamic and we are holding the monthly 21 EMA, but we are underneath the monthly Tenkin, which is very, very important, guys. Very, very important. So until we close above the monthly Tenkin, I wouldn't get too bullish, right? But this is all support, which is what makes this really, really hard to trade, right? So when it's really hard to trade that way and you're not seeing clear trend structure, what should you be doing? Trading the ranges. Trade the ranges between one zone to another zone, and over here is a very, very simple range. You can trade it on lower time frames using your higher time frames as support, which would be the 10 SMA resistance, and underneath you have Tenkin Kijun and dynamic. Very, very simple. Lose all of this, that's when you take your trade towards the downside. Until then, there's no trade towards the downside. The only trade on the high time frames towards the downside is from, again, here 45,000 down to 35,000, right? Your range trade from up to down. Over here, at this current juncture, there's no real short trade. Does it make sense? I hope so, because if you guys have any questions, you better ask soon. I'll be wrapping up this video very, very soon. We're already at the 51-minute mark. This was supposed to be a 20-minute live stream. Bearish engulfing candle, says Viren. I don't see it over here. What time frame? Alrighty. Oh, there's something cool I do want to talk to you guys about on the monthly over here. But I'll wait for your questions. Hey, Dipesh, how's it going, buddy? What are my bullish targets? That's a hard question to answer, because like, what is it? You mean, okay, let's put it this. How about this? You'll get your answer very soon, as I finish up this last two segments that I want to talk about on I think it's this one, and yeah. So these two charts, I want to talk about these two charts, and then you'll get your answer. I'm pretty sure you'll get your answer. Unfortunately, it's an if this then that kind of situation, because I have bullish and bearish targets, right? So you'll get the whole story as to how things will play out based on each event transpiring. I mean, at the moment, if you look at this candle over here, is it looking the best? Remember what we were looking for this month, right? And like going back here, when you look at just this, you're closing underneath the Tenkin. When you look at just this over here, that candle alone does not look good, right? So Unfortunately, the bullish monthly targets, in my opinion, based on how much time we have left now for this candle, you'll only get targets at the end of next month, unfortunately. But hey, that's what keeps Mango profitable in the long run, right? Because we're patient enough to wait those months while everyone else is front running trades. Clearly, I wasn't freaking patient enough over here. Mark M says, so close green and above open of previous month. Looks like not quite enough. Need Tenkin as well. The open of the previous month, Mark, is all the way here, buddy, at 46,000. So if we close above the open of the previous month, that's going to be extremely bullish, and we would have cleared the Tenkin by a long shot. And that's what I was looking for, right? That's what I was looking for. Unfortunately, god damn it, man. The freaking 10 SMA. Yeah, you mean the close. I figured you meant the close, but let's think about that. Let's think about if you said the open, right? Because the sentiment is right, or rather the thesis, or I'm not catching the right word, but let's say at the beginning of Feb you said if we take out the prior month's open, just through a price action perspective, that alone makes sense, right? Taking out the prior month's close is not that impressive, but if you at least had taken out the Tenkin, that would have been impressive. Over here, if we took out the prior month's open, we'd have also claimed the 10 SMA. Unfortunately, we did not do that. You're tired too, eh? Okay, yeah. So, any questions before I move on? There aren't any, unfortunately, there aren't any bearish trades until we close the month, man. The only bearish trades were, we'll talk about bearish trades soon. Actually, on the lower to mid time frames, there are bearish trades, of course. You can always find a bearish trade, by the way. It's depending on what your time frame is. Okay, but remember, this video over here, we are focused mainly on the monthly and the weekly. So on the low time frames, there are bearish trades. Okay, finally, I do want to talk about this really interesting thing that's going on the oscillators over here. Okay, we have a chance, not this month, okay, because it's not confirmed at all, but we have a chance of putting in some really strong bullish divergence on the monthly time frame. Now here's the thing. It's not confirmed, and I'm not sure whether or not there are any there's any historic evidence, at least in the most recent monthly candles, of any bullish divergence, because each time that we maybe even threatened to put in bullish divergence, it did not even trigger, and we ended up having the downtrend. Because remember, if we actually start closing candles underneath 33,000, or we take out these lows away at 29,000, any idea of bullish divergence is completely negated, right? Which is why next month is very important. If we close the end of March, let's be a little bit more conservative, okay? And we say we close the end of March all the way above the prior month. Again, this lines up with what Mark said. We take out, or what he said by mistake. If we take out the prior month's open, right? So coming in at around 46,300-ish, and in fact, if we take out the high as well, that would trigger the bullish divergence. This was, by the way, bearish divergence triggering, right? You guys can see that right over here. We had bearish divergence trigger as soon as we took out this low over here at around 52,872, which lined up with what? Lined up with our dynamic as well, 2-day dynamic, where we lost it somewhere around here at around 56,000-ish. So we had monthly bearish divergence trigger along with 2-day dynamic losing its uptrend pushing it down all the way. But going back to the oscillators really quick, right over here, we do have, this time around, we have bullish divergence. The potential, I wanna be very, very clear on this again. The potential of bullish divergence on monthly support of the Mango dynamic triggering as long as we clear 47,000-ish, right? So that's going to be really interesting. And that can only happen next month at this current juncture, right? We have only 12 hours to go before we close this month. So yeah, this is really, really interesting. And then finally, we can talk about the lower time frames, which is essentially the daily. And here we have our ranges for our short-term and our long-term trades, right? Sorry, our short trades and our long trades. So where do you take your longs? You take longs, of course, at support. And remember, this is monthly support and this is also weekly support, right? So longs over here and you take your shorts over here. Okay, shorts at around 47,000, which lines up with what? Weekly Kijun, as well as monthly Tennesseeme, etc., etc. So you long to the top of the range and then you short to the bottom of the range. If we clear this region over here at around 46,000, 45,000, you close your short, you take your loss, and then you have a really tight range to play from around 45,000 to 52,000. If you clear 52,000, that's your next long trade to the next range. In my opinion, you should be looking for your trend trades at that point. I know I will be. But again, if you're playing the ranges, there is a condition upon which you still play the ranges, by the way. And we talked about that at the beginning of the video, which is if we get the weekly bearish TK cross, right? If you get the weekly bearish TK cross, you want to still play the range and you want to essentially take along from 52 to around 66, 65-ish. You want to be closing out your longs over there and then look for shorts all the way back down to the range over here. You keep your shorts open only if you're expecting a downtrend all the way to the bottom of the range, and you'd be expecting that only if you're looking for the monthly to continue this trend, essentially. Let me draw it out for you guys. So right now, start planning your trades. This is the time to plan it, because everyone else will be letting the market dictate their emotions and their trades. You need to plan what you do next, right? If you're looking for the market to do this, then come back down, what does it do there? Does it come all the way back down here, or does it keep its high lows? Right? Leading into 2023, 2024, Bitcoin halving, run up. I'm just drawing it, right? We don't know what's going to happen, but you can plan it. Plan the if this then scenarios. All right, any questions? Any questions? Let's go back to the daily real quick. Is this the daily? This is the 1 hour. We'll talk about that too soon to wrap up the stream. So yeah, take a screenshot of this if you guys do want to. I'll tell you guys your key levels. These are your key levels for your daily time frame. 34,000 towards the downside. Towards the upside, you have targets of around 45,000 to 46,000. After that, you have another range trade from around 45,500 to around 52,000 to 50,000-ish. From 52,000 to 50,000, you have another range trade all the way up to 67,000, right? Remember, resistance 67, resistance 52, resistance 46. Each time you flip these levels, they turn into support. Lose them, they turn back into resistance. On the monthly, major level, let's take a screenshot over here of your dynamic if you guys want to. Again, giving you guys a gift over here. The dynamic is a paid indicator. At the moment, the dynamic is currently sitting at 37,000-ish. You will not be getting an updated tick of this anytime soon, right? It's going to stay at around 37,000. So yeah, bi-weekly dynamic is coming in at around 47,500-ish. Okay, 47,500. That's your bi-weekly dynamic level. So yeah, note these levels down, guys. Easy. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much it. Don't be going through everything all over again, but yeah. It's a nice chart I drew. Which one are you talking about? Is that the $300,000 target? It's coming. So does that answer your question, Josh? The oscillator bullish divergence, if it triggers, it's going to line up with so much else that we talked about today. Essentially, us closing above those key monthly levels of the prior monthly closes open, also perhaps taking back the monthly 10 SMA, also triggering a bullish divergence play towards the top of the range, right? So you have bullish divergence potential coming on monthly 21 EMA, monthly dynamic, monthly Kijun. That trade, I think that trade is going to be the trade that people are not looking at, because there's a lot of bearishness at the moment in the markets. But that's that one asymmetric trade that people might not be looking at that might actually be in favor of the bulls. But other than that, everything else is bearish, unfortunately. The daily does not have a bear trade though, not at the moment, until we close either underneath 37 or, in my opinion, 35. Yeah, check out the free educational playlist. It's on the YouTube channel. I should organize it a little bit more, but I think the top few videos, you know what, to be honest, watch the whole thing if you have the time. Like, every single one of those videos are educational in their own right. I should split them up though, but they're all educational, right? I should like categorize them as like, I don't know how to categorize them though. I'll chill here for a few more minutes, but in terms of the analysis, we're pretty much done. I just wanted to talk about Bitcoin, and yeah. And chill now. Spend some time with you guys. Kick back. I was supposed to, whatever. Today is a special day, so I'll make time. Yeah, man. Gold, not it. What was that? Sell volume though? Like the close is not too confidence inspiring, right? Like if you look at the lower time frames, man, that thing got sold into so hardcore. Like the market is so confused right now. They don't know what they want. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Easy shotter. You missed a good stream, buddy. Up early today, eh? Usually you're sleeping around this time. Yeah, Sam, I noticed you typing in the C chat. I was like, oh, I don't think Sam knows we're streaming. Yeah, hit the likes, guys. I think there's like 80 of you here and only 20 likes. we're not looking at any altcoins, man, today. Can look at Bitcoin dominance though. Bitcoin dominance seeing some resistance. This is the weekly, monthly. The monthly looks great, eh? Monthly looks fantastic, Jesus. Wonder how would you guys draw this? Like this? Like this? Meh, doesn't matter. If this bull flags and breaks up, all right, guys. Let's see quickly. SPY is really interesting, man. SPY is really interesting. Nasdaq too, of course. How did Cardano recover? Cardano's looking horrible, by the way. Ethereum. Actually, you know what? Let's go through some of the altcoins. Alright, I'll just give you guys my general like view on these altcoins. Ethereum. Again, let's see the monthly for Ethereum. Yeah, just closing underneath the monthly dynamic while Bitcoin hasn't. I don't like that. Rejecting it too. So think about Ethereum closing underneath the monthly dynamic, rejecting it on the retest. Like that's indicative, man. That's indicative of something coming. So I don't know. It's a really confusing picture because Bitcoin holding and Ethereum not. Is Ethereum giving us a clue that, hey, don't get trapped in Bitcoin? Should we be de-risking because of that, or should we be saying, okay, you know what, Bitcoin's looking far better than altcoins, I don't want to be losing any of my Bitcoin while being in altcoin positions, right? One of those two you need to be taking into consideration depending on your risk appetite. Yeah, ARC looks like shit too. Like, yeah, it bounced a little bit, but not enough, man. Not enough. Like, look at SPY. Look at SPY. Okay. It held its dirty structure. It's still held. Close green. Nice long full body candle close. Nice long shadow. ARC. Completely different picture. NDX. SPY still better, but NDX still better than ARC. Okay, so that's Cardano, ARC. Sol not looking good either. Still better than Cardano. No. Sol got no. I have no opinion on which one's better. No opinion. What else do we have? Avax is not bad, but not great either. Luna is great. Luna is a standout. Luna is phenomenal. Luna is effing phenomenal. Like, don't tell Krish I said this, okay? Don't tell Krish I said this. But when Krisha told me she was short Luna, I looked at the Luna chart. I'm like, are you sure you want to be short this one? Because I remember, right? I remember the picture in my head clearly. Because everything else looked like shit. Like, for example, let's say, so this is this leg that I just drew, okay? And then the down move, a lot of charts did that. A lot of charts went up and then went down, but then they put in bear flags and they broke down, correct? Right? They broke down. Look at Sol, you look at Cardano, they all broke down. Luna did this, up, down, sideways, and on the sell-off, all it had was a wick. That was a wick, right? So you didn't see Luna did this. Like, how do I picture it for you guys? How do I draw it for you guys? I hope you guys understand what I mean. Like, Luna put in a flag that did not get sold into, like it got sold into, but it did not break structure. While everything else put in a flag and broke structure. Right? So yeah, Luna, fabulous. Like effing fabulous. Like, is this new chain link too long for next cycle? I'll be keeping my eyes on Luna. I love to see strength like this. I love to see strength like this. Holochain, man. Why? I look at it, but why? I mean, I'm getting sucked into altcoin analysis now. What's the ticker? Like this. Does it have a ticker? What's the ticker? Okay, there you go. It's no. It broke structure. Wants to go down further. Close. Yeah, no. Until it closes back above 0.0. What is this? 4 cents or whatever, a penny, and then it needs to. Man, it has a lot of work to do. You don't look at it until it closes back above this level. They're bear coins, man. Look at Luna. Look at Luna, right? You want to buy strength. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Luna. Those two. For now, we haven't seen anything else that's looking good. Like even Sol, very similar to Holo. Because it may come down further, and that's the better long at 48 for Sol. I'll wait. I'd rather buy more expensive. AVAX is looking not bad. There was a really good long on AVAX over here at 65. That was a good long. Straight to no. Yeah. A lot of you guys over here who are still watching, in 4 years, you guys are gonna thank me for saying this, or you guys are gonna say, damn, he was right. Protect your goddamn Bitcoin. Protect your Bitcoin, okay? You don't know which one of these altcoins are gonna succeed. You guys don't know. As bullish as you're feeling right now about these altcoins, there's a low probability that these altcoins are still going to be in the top 100 or top 20 in like 5 years. One of them could be, right? Many of them, as in all of these on these lists could still be there, but you don't, it's very low probability, very low probability. But what is the probability that Bitcoin is not in the top 20? I'm not even saying number one, okay? I'm saying top 20. What is the probability Bitcoin is? I'll ask you guys two questions. Okay? And this will make your decisions for your long-term investment in crypto a lot easier. First question. What is the probability of Bitcoin not being in the top 20 over the next 5 to 10 years? Okay? Write that probability down. Top 20. I'm not saying top 5, I'm not saying top 1, top 10, top 20. Okay? Then ask yourself, what is the probability of crypto not seeing a massive influx of money over the next 5 to 10 years? Crypto as a space. Okay? I'm not saying one particular coin, I'm saying crypto as a space. So if you want to capture, what's the best way to capture that influx of money? Either one, pick the winners, which is effing difficult to do. I want you guys to just go back, do some research and find out what were the top 10 to 20 coins in 2017. I think only four of them survived and made it into the top 20 this time. Right? They're constantly rotating. You don't know, man. So for the best way to capture most of the value is to pick the winners of the space. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, freaking XRP. I have never owned XRP. I'm not saying I don't know anything about XRP, but these are the winners, right? They held. So this is my base thesis. I want to capture the influx of money coming in And I'm asking myself, what's the best way to do that without missing? Just imagine how stupid you guys are going to feel if you guys were in the crypto space for the past 20 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and you guys didn't capture any of the gain. And you think that's not going to happen? I've seen people who've been in the space for 10 years and are still effing no better off than what they were when they started. Because they tried to get cute instead of being mango. And you guys are probably only hearing of the winners because of survival bias, because that's a different topic, but be very careful of being the other 80% or 95%, whatever that percent is, that did not make any money whatsoever. And I think that is just, this is your chance, guys. This is your chance. Don't mess it up. Just gotta survive. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to be wrapping up. Samwise says I've cut nearly all my alts since joining Seed. Attaboy. As in, like, I'm not against altcoins. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I like to use them to make more Bitcoin. Hey Ben, how's it going, bud? You're very, very welcome. Welcome. With that, I'll see you guys in the next stream. We're already 20 minutes past. I'm freaking 1 hour past the 20 minute limit. I'm supposed to do the stream only for 20 minutes. I'm here for 1 hour, 20 minutes instead. If you guys did enjoy the stream and you guys want me to do more of these throughout the week, or rather sporadically throughout the week, of course, make sure you let me know by hitting the like, hitting the subscribe, and leaving a comment down below. Because if I don't know that you guys are enjoying this video, I'm very, very unlikely to do more of these. Do the mango way, do the easy way, do the stress-free way. Yeah, I'll be doing a stream on Thursday. Cheers, guys.